All right, y'all. Today we're looking at this boudoir photography business, and for its local searches, city searches, we're going to see if it has BSS. And we're back here in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More of that in the pinned video, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph, in white down there. Highest intent people on the left. Google search, social search, people search for a boudoir photographer in their city, like right now. And our videos here focus on that, talking about BSS. And over on the right, the lowest intent people that ain't searching for boudoir right now, and most of them don't even know what the heck it is. They are got to reach out with the interruption ads via, Instagram, Facebook. Our sister brand talks about that, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots, yeah, we're dying a fast death here because we'd be on page 2 or deeper. And we already have the data. We know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So basically, if we're on, approximately 80% of Google searches are page 1 and done searches. So we care about that. That's the bulk of the market. So we got to dominate page 1. And even if we got 1 slot on page 1, that's still not good enough. It's because there's 10 organic slots there. There's going to be approximately 9 other boudoir photography businesses, and as a result, we're looking the same as everyone else. And guess what? Buyer behavior is going to be doing. There's going to be clicking every single link on page 1. Approximately 80% of them, all page 1, contacting everyone, never even going to page 2, price shopping everyone, negotiating, uh, bringing down margins, killing margins for everyone, and we do not want any of that either. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is actually not normal. It's accepted, it's common, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And I know this is not normal because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days with a new strategy we developed. Now, these 2 deeper root causes are 1, market saturation, which everyone knows about. Just more peeps over time, get a new iPhone, get a new camera, and they decided to throw up their Google My Business page, saying they shoot boudoir, their website saying they shoot boudoir, and they're also start posting the mom Facebook group saying they do boudoir photo shoots now. So it's more number of sellers over time to the same number of buyers, and really, really, makes it difficult for every other boudoir photographer in the city. And as a result, the second thing we care about, and the second deeper root cause, is the false belief of page 1 equality. This is one that basically nobody knows about. It's kind of where a lot of boudoir photographers simply agree or kind of automatically accept that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google, and if you got it, sometimes you don't. Or boudoir photographers enter, you get relegated to page 2, which means invisible to approximately 80% of boudoir buyers who never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only peeps, and just kind of, well, hopefully somebody deletes their website. Hopefully I can move back up to page 1, but no, is incorrect. Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days. So got to break through the false belief to then see if there's, solutions out there outside the mental cage or the brain cage when we've been accepting page 1 equality. And yeah, in 2 pictures, we'll see the solution. Now, boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So yeah, if we got 0 slots page 1, we're page 2 or deeper, we're visible to approximately 80% of the market. We're definitely disappearing. If we got 1 slot page 1, we're looking the same as everyone else. We're basically invisible. We're still disappearing. And as disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the kind of warning light, the flashing signal of telling us our boudoir photography business itself is on the path to disappearing. Now, thankfully, we do have a solution. Thank the universe. we've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. So it works exactly as the name says, social search saturation. We actually saturate social search with the highest intent buyer, boudoir buyer keywords. And when we do that, it's kind of like the snow on the backside of the Andes Mountains that then melts into small streams, small rivers. Andes Mountains down there in South America. And once you get enough snow, enough water going down, eventually it flows into the Amazon River, which is page one on Google. But we got to focus on getting enough snow up top, enough social search saturation for then to then flow down onto Google page one search. So, and this has been the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight against a deeper root cause of market saturation and give boudoir photography business a chance to actually grow in the face of more and more market saturation, and give that chance in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen to this to fight against market saturation is have a large, massive, well-known brand in the area. But gee, that takes like 5 to 10 years minimum. We ain't got that time. We got AI taking people's jobs. We gotta get cooking. So SQ methodology is the only thing I've seen that can help with that. And the estimates from what I've looked at, I believe it can help create a well-known brand approximately 8x faster than normal methods. Now, kind of an example of fighting back against market saturation successfully. Let's say we are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's approximately, there's approximately 1 million boudoir photographers there. We are one of them. Everyone's got their website saying they shoot boudoir, trying to rank page one on Google. And guess what? We're like, all right, we're in price shop to death. Can't get on page one. We gotta, dude, our only chance, either build a brand, takes 5 to 10 years, or something that could do relatively quickly, SQ methodology. So we're like, all right, we'll do SQ methodology. We'll crank it up to the max and go maximum extreme. And let's say we take up the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords on social search. And when we do that, let's say it flows onto Google, and we get the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer Google searches as well. And so, anytime a buyer searches for boudoir in our city on social search, the social media networks or on Google, we're basically the only one they can find because Google is 10 organic slots per page. And, so that's like 30 pages is us. They basically got to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors. So if they can really only find us, even though there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers, whose business is still growing? Obviously ours. And then if they, our other competitors, 999,999, they're basically all disappearing, slowing down, exiting the market. And so this is, it's an extreme version of what SQ methodology could do, or what it could enable. But again, this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that, is even close that this is possible. Now, once treated with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. So we get our initial benefit, more links on page one. We get our second, and now our second initial benefit here is every new link we get on page one actually kicks competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. A lot of boudoir photographers actually like this second initial benefit the best, because we're actually relegating our competitors page one deeper, effectively visible to approximately 80% of the market, who never even hits page two. They do page one and done in Google searches, and make them disappearing boudoir photographers, and eventually force them to exit the market. So it's actually a really good second initial benefit. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is where the GBC universe recommends to hit the 3 out of 10 minimum slots page one Google search. And once we hit those, actually, basically everyone else will have one slot for themselves, page one on Google. So we'll be dominating all those peeps. We'll look way more. Google recommended us way more. And also in the rare case, someone else has 2 slots, page one Google search, we'll be dominating them as well, so we'll have 3. So that's why the GBC universe recommends us hit 3 out of 10 slots. No, wrong way. A boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got our full, micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. We finally have a solution. Thank the universe, S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. Now my results here utilizing S cubed methodology for myself. I want to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I did that and I utilized S cubed methodology. Let's see the results I got. So going down to the organic slots here. We got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Organic slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And did all this without even having a website. So I'm from 0 to 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search, all in 10 days, purely utilizing S cubed methodology. So these were my results that I got. Now, onto the main event here. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business, see if it's got BSS for its local or its city search, see if it's hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google. So let's get into it. So we're going to Germantown, Tennessee, and Memphis, Tennessee. All right, so what we got here. We're in Germantown, Tennessee. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we got 1. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for local search. Let's go to city. City is always harder to rank for. It's more people competing. Oh, nice. We got organic slot 1. That's great. So we got 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 here. So we got 1 out of 10 for local. We got 1 out of 10 for Memphis. So yeah, we got BSS for both, and we are hitting the GBC universe recommended minimum. That's 3 out of 10. Neither of those searches. So if you're a boudoir photographer, a disappearing boudoir photographer, which means you've done local search for the highest intent keywords in your local area for that boudoir buyers will be searching, and you've done the highest intent keywords for your city or close to city for highest intent keywords boudoir buyers will be buying, and you either have BSS for one or both, boudoir search sameness, or you do not meet the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google for either one or both. And you're seeing, you're liking the initial benefits of S-cubed methodology. You decide this is the one path, the one solution forward for you. Because you want more slots page 1 on Google, and you definitely want to catch your competitors page 1 on Google, kick them to page 2, where now we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even make it to page 2. So the bulk of the market will never even find your competitors through organic search. And, you want to use S-cubed methodology because now you understand that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and Google actually wants to give as many page 1 slots as possible to those who want to put in the effort to take them. And now we realize we got a methodology, a solution to take them with S-cubed methodology. And you understand the market saturation, new phone, new gear, bringing new boudoir photographers in. But you also are looking ahead and you're seeing that, hey, you actually need to fortify your business, and you decide you're going to fortify your business against the future boudoir photographers that come in, not only from the new iPhone and the new camera, but also the much larger share. The larger share is actually going to be more people losing their jobs to AI, and they still got to earn money. They still got to pay their expenses, and everyone's got a great camera attached to their iPhone already. So there's going to be way more boudoir photographers coming into the market because of AI, and you actually want to give yourself, fortification in preparation of those boudoir photographers coming into the market, kind of like the levees in New Orleans. They build up the sandbag levees because New Orleans is actually below sea level. So you actually want to build up that fortification in preparation for the future boudoir photographers entering the market, which is going to be more and more over time. So you already decided you're going to prepare for that, and you realized, hey, paying for Facebook ads ain't doing that. That's on Facebook. Paying for Google ads ain't doing that because that's only one slot on Google. The only option that gives you multiple slots is S-cubed methodology for boudoir photographers. And so you realize you need this solution. You want the initial benefits. You want the, pre-fortification benefits because you need to achieve page 1 visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer and have boudoir search visibility because you need those things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like the back-end benefits as well, which we've not talked about yet, but you actually understand already, which is every day we execute S-cubed methodology correctly, we are actually increasing and building up these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business, or spokes, hub and spoke. It's attached into our business name, our brand name, our social accounts. And what this is doing, this is building up massive momentum and mind share in the back end of these AI systems. So every day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology together, we're actually increasing the probability you get recommended here, AI overview, premium placement, the one top slot um, for, a search in your city for a boudoir photographer, as well as increasing the probability that regular AI searches actually give you, actually feature you as well, as be ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Standard Google search still about 90% of searches globally, but dude, AI search is growing every day. I haven't done normal Google search probably in like a year to actually like read and learn stuff from a website. I just do the AI mode on Google. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer was in well, I remember it gave me 3 options, but I actually went on my own and looked like Google standard search, and there were about 60 options. So, dude, AI search can be more and more. SQL methodology gives us higher chances of showing up AI overview at the top and all AI search. And you also recognize the final kind of extra benefit of using SQL methodology being, since you've decided to be the first mover in your city, you can make all this progress build up all these initial benefits and the momentum for the future benefits, kind of the invisible AI mindshare for your business ahead of all your competitors, because right now my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city on this. And so as a result, you actually, every day we successfully execute SQL methodology together. We are building up, got initial benefits initially happening very fast, and kind of the long-term benefits, the invisible benefits for AI overview recommendation, AI search recommendation. Every day we're putting a bigger and bigger gap between your current competitors and the future competitors coming from AI stealing people's jobs and people becoming boudoir photographers because they need to earn money. We're building up this momentum where basically no one, when we execute on this, no one's going to be able to catch up to us. Because conversely, if someone else in your city went with me first, you would have to rederive or derive for the first time the correct way to do S-cubed methodology, and you would never actually be confident you've derived the correct way to do it. Never be 100% confident, and then you'd have to go equal our execution with me and your competitor. But we've already been doing it long before you, so we've already built up a massive gap between then and you with all the initial benefits and the future benefits, momentum with AI mindshare. So you'd have to then execute the same amount of us every day. And then if you did that, you'd simply maintain the gap that me and your competitor have already made of us being ahead of you. So you'd have to actually double or triple our execution to pull that AI mindshare, those invisible thematic keyword columns away from the competitor's brand, competitor's name in your same city for the AI mindshare in the back end. Pull that back towards yourself, and like, dude, who's got time for that? I mean, how are you gonna outcompete the person that invented SQ methodology? Me. So you've decided, screw that. You decided, okay, you're gonna be the first mover because you want to be the number one boudoir photographer in your city. So if that's you, shoot me a DM when my DM's open. The hospital is not currently open for new patients. When I do open up for new patients, I watch these videos. I'll put out a notice, and yeah, shoot a DM then, and we'll see if you qualify for using S-cubed methodology.